Commissioner does press up with this.
Good evening, everybody.
Are live now for the Peace River Town Council regular meeting of Monday, January 22nd, 2024. And the meeting called to order at 5 o'clock. First on our agenda is the adoption of minutes, or adoption of the addenda, sorry. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
I have nothing, Deputy Mayor, thank you.
Does someone want to move? Mr. Good. All in favor? Carried. Adoption of the minutes. Minutes of the January 8th, 2024 regular council meeting.
I'll move those minutes.
Thank
I'll
you.
move the council adopt the minutes of the January 8th, 2024 regular council meeting as presented.
Thank you. All those in favor? That's
In favor.
carried. Next are the minutes from the January 15th, 2024 special council meeting. Are there any questions or concerns on that, or is someone willing to make a motion to accept them? Councillor Good,
I'll move that we adopt the minutes of the January 15th, 2024 special council meeting.
all in favor? That's carried. Public hearings, we have none. Presentations, none. Number 6, bylaws. Mr. Mugford.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Shannon. Good evening, Council. I have before you a request for decision on bylaw number 2146, assessment of designated manufactured homes in a manufactured home community. So we're looking for first reading for this bylaw. At issue is in 2022, a request for a decision was presented as to whether administration should prepare a bylaw regarding the designation of manufactured homes within manufactured community. So we're talking about trailers in trailer parks. The feedback from council at the time was positive. The bylaw was drafted by the prior director of corporate services and was tabled for a bit of time to allow for research. Kind of fell off my plate for a little bit, but it's back. So again, I carried forward some of the language in the initial RFD. But at a very high level, in the past, administration has struggled with collecting property taxes from residents of mobile home parks within the municipality. The lands are taxed by way of levy sent to the trailer park owner, and a separate levy is sent to individual residents of the park for taxation of the mobile home. It is the latter levy that we experience difficulty in collecting. Park managers are required to monitor the trailers leaving and arriving from their respective parks and notify the town. This doesn't appear to be happening all the time, as the town frequently finds itself several owners behind when the levies are sent out. The town is unable to collect these unpaid levies. Several of our neighboring communities have adopted bylaws to address this matter. And that's what the proposed bylaw that we have before you this evening would intend to do. So basically, the bylaw would hold the park owner responsible for paying all the residents' taxes. Those bills would then be passed on to the manufactured homeowners through rents or other means as determined by the park owner. The MGA does allow for this and relative sections 341J2 and 331 section 1. So administration is proposing the bylaw would come into effect for January 1, 2026. So that would give all parties an opportunity to revise their rental agreements and reflect how to best implement paperwork in order to meet the minimum notification requirement of at least 12 months. So the options for council this evening are to provide first reading to bylaw 2146, that being the assessment of designated manufactured homes and manufactured home community. The advantage of doing so is it reduces the administrative burden on town staff. It will improve collectability of property taxes, and by providing first reading, it allows time for the bylaw to be circulated to the public for feedback. Disadvantage of this is it's puts additional work on the manufactured home community operators, and it shifts the responsibility of collection to them. The financial implications for the town are the elimination of bad debt expense resulting from uncollected property taxes levied against the manufactured homes located in those manufactured home communities. Option 2 would be for council to decline to grant first reading to bylaw 2046. Again, the advantages are at the inverse of the other, so there's less work for the manufactured home operators. The disadvantage is ongoing and continued administrative burden for the town, and the risk of collection would remain with the town. The recommendation from administration is that council give first reading to bylaw 2146. Thank you.
Any questions, councillors?
I have a vague memory, Mike. I think a vague memory that this question was broached by a previous council. And there might be, like, when you talk about the separate taxes, the landowner, the mobile home park owner is responsible for the land itself, correct? And there's a separate tax on the mobile home as a property on each individual mobile home. Because my memory is that there may be, did you research other bylaws that may or may not exist? I'm not saying you didn't, I'm just asking the question because I mean, well, this came up. And I know that there was something done for exactly the logic that you're talking about here, is that we would end up on the hook, because if the mobile homeowner was not, I don't remember that each individual lot was taxed separately in the past. And I don't know, it may have been, there's something, tell me something's going on.
Sheila Miller.
Thank you. So you are right, all of the land of the park is charged to the park owner. But the individual improvements, which are the trailers, the individual trailers are deemed to be individual improvements. And the way the legislation reads, unless a bylaw is written that's brought forward, every one of those trailer owners are assessed for their individual improvement. And so often those improvement taxes are only $400 or $500, but because they're attached to a trailer, a chattel, the only way to ever collect that property tax that's outstanding is to hire a sheriff sort of and go through the recovery that way, because there's no lands attached to it to do land recovery like we can a home. And so this bylaw then enables us to assess the trailer or park owner with the land plus all the improvements are on the land, and then they then have to collect from their individual tenants. And so they keep track of comings and goings, and they make sure that if that trailer pulls out, they're paying their tax before they leave.
I do understand that, and I mean, this presentation was pretty good. I'm just thinking that there's something already existing there, and I could be totally wrong. Yeah. Sorry.
Kayla?
If I might, if you might just be recalling, previous corporate services director, Terry Websdale, did give this presentation to council, and council did, feel at the time, appeared to feel comfortable moving forward with it. But then with Mr. Websdale leaving, it just kind of fell to the wayside and it didn't get implemented. So you might just be recalling that discussion and council's kind of go ahead to move forward with the bylaw, and then it didn't happen.
That's totally quite possible.
Councillor Ford?
That is
took the words right out of my mouth. That is my recollection of it too, and that was on our last term.
Counselor Carr?
I'm just curious about the timing on this. If we're going to hand it over to, for example, a property manager that's managing to increase their rent to cover the taxes, I think they'll need 90 days notice before they can do that. Should we be timing this? Maybe giving the owners notice and then timing it so it kicks in the end of June type of thing, so that, so that they're not left holding the bag for 6 or 8 months of taxes.
So the bylaw is set to go into effect January 1, 2026.
Oh,
So we built in,
okay.
the requirement is 12 months, but we, basically it's almost 2 years.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any more questions? Counselor Wojciech, do you have any questions?
No, I'm good. Sorry, it just takes me a minute to switch from the agenda to my volume here to unmute.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone that would make a motion?
Thank you, Your Worship. I put a motion on the floor that council give first reading to bylaw 2146, assessment of designated manufactured homes in a manufactured home community.
All those in favor? And that's carried.
I'm in favor.
Thank you, Mark. New business. And we're with Sam again for the donation of the firefighting skid unit.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. This is a briefing note regarding donation of a firefighting skid unit. So in October 2023, the town was contacted by the local medical organization regarding donation of a firefighting skid unit to the fire department. Local Medic is a registered Canadian charity that runs capacity building programs to provides disaster relief services to large scale catastrophes in Canada and around the world. The mission of their sister charity, Global Fire, is to strengthen emergency response capacity of organizations and communities around the world through the provision of equipment and training. One of the programs they're currently running in Canada is a firefighting skid donation program. Through the program, Global Fire is connecting with local fire departments in wildfire prone areas to offer firefighting skids, which include 1,000-liter tank hoses, pumps, and pumps that can be placed onto the back of a pickup truck or utility vehicle as needed in times of wildfires. These skid units are manufactured in Edmonton. Peace River Fire Department requested a skid and was a successful recipient. The unit will be incorporated in the department's wildfire operations in the spring and will be used both locally and regionally where the need exists.
I have one question. What would the value be on something like that?
I don't know that offhand, Deputy Mayor, but I can undertake to get that information.
I'm just curious. Any other questions?
I'll move that council accept the briefing note regarding a donation from Global Fire to the Peace River Fire Department for information.
All those in favor?
So possibly, have we
Mr. Wojciech?
thanked these guys officially?
I'm in favor.
Thank you. Carried.
Have we thanked these guys officially? Have we made this, because that's kind of a pretty cool thing.
Your worship, nothing's come out of administration. I believe an email from the department has come forward. Was sent from the fire department. I was actually anticipating a motion.
And with the chair mind, I'll move that we from council and send our thanks to Global Fire for the donation.
All in favor of that motion? And that's carried.
In favor.
Thank you, Mark. Number 2, employee health care spending account, Mr. Mumford.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. So at issue is a proposed change to the healthcare spending account amounts provided to staff as part of the town's benefits package. A bit of background, the town of Peace River provides a healthcare spending account to all employees eligible for the town's benefits plan. The healthcare spending account that can be claimed, can be used to claim eligible medical expenses under the Income Tax Act. It works like a bank account. The account is credited with dollar amounts from which eligible expenses are deducted. Providing the balance is sufficient to cover the claim, eligible expenses are reimbursed, and the healthcare spending account is debited accordingly. The town is invoiced only for the employee's usage of the account. Healthcare spending accounts are beneficial to the employer. They allow us to manage benefit costs while providing flexibility to staff regarding medical expenses they claim above the standard plan. For example, not all employees require vision coverage or orthodontic coverage. These benefits can be costly to maintain, and they are not required by everybody. So the healthcare spending account allows employees to utilize the funds in a manner that best suits their individual needs and situations. There are currently 70 employees enrolled in the town's benefit plan with eligible, with healthcare spending account eligibility. So there's, within the union, there's 22 employees. The non-union, there's 9 that are single and 39 that are in the family benefits plan. When the healthcare spending account was originally established, each eligible employee was provided a bank of $1,000 per year. In 2020, the healthcare spending account for amount for unionized employees changed through the collective bargaining process. Now unionized employees with family coverage receive a bank of $1,500 per year. All other employees remain at $1,000 per year. So I included some excerpts from the currently in place personnel policy. The proposal here is to increase the amount for family benefits for non-unionized employees so that it's in line with what the unionized employees should get. So that we can go back to having the same for union and non-union employees. So those are the options before council. Option 1 would be to approve this increase to the healthcare spending account for non-union employees with family benefit coverage up to $1,500 a year. Again, the advantages being it's equal benefits among all work groups within the town, and it's beneficial to maintain a modern and attractive benefit package. The disadvantage is the financial implications. So this would be approximately a $19,500 annual increase to the healthcare spending account. So that's 39 employees times $500. Important to note that not all employees fully utilize this benefit. So going back a couple of years, it's roughly 80% of the healthcare spending accounts gets utilized. So 19.5 would be the maximum cost of that, but it's, you know, if they wouldn't fully utilize that amount. Option 2 would be for council to not approve the changes and leave it as it is. So there'd be no financial implication to the town, but it would continue to have unequal benefits between union and non-union employees. And option 3 would be such other direction as provided by council. The recommendation from administration is to increase the healthcare spending account for non-union employees with family benefits coverage to $1,500 per year. Thank you.
Any questions? Councillor Boychuk?
No, I'm good.
Will anyone be willing to put forward the motion?
I'll put forth the motion. I'll move the council approve an increase to the healthcare spending account for non-union employees with family benefits coverage to $1,500 a year.
Thank you. All in favor? Councillor
I'm in
Boychuk?
favor.
Thank you. And that's carried. Director Bell. Number 3, roadside memorial policy.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. Council, excuse me, before you this evening is a roadside memorial policy. This is a new policy council reviewed at I believe, the November governance priorities meeting. At that meeting, we did receive some feedback from council, which moved the policy from a 3-month maximum period on item 6 to a 30 days. That adjustment has been made within the policy. Overall, this particular policy is addressing roadside memorials, the development of roadside memorials that happen inadvertently, spontaneously from members of the public or family or friends after an incident. Currently, the town has no mechanisms to manage when these situations arise. Interesting and important to note, this policy is applicable to town property only and town roadside boulevards, town roadways only. So any other property outside of town property would have to be addressed through other mechanisms. So this new policy is presented to council this evening for either your adoption or if you have further feedback or direction to adjust the policy.
Are there any questions for Director Bell? Councillor Boychuk?
No, I'm good on this issue.
Will anyone be willing to on that?
I'll move that council approve the roadside memorial policy as presented.
All those in favor? Councillor
I'm in
Boychuk?
favor.
Thank you. That's carried. Number 4, full chart request for financial support. CO Miller.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. So as we mentioned in the title, the request for decision or thought for council is regarding Cold Shot. We have recently received a letter from them requesting financial assistance for continued services. So council has had much discussion already around Cold Shot, are aware of their financial situation. It is a private business that's struggling. They operate, provide some limited services to us as their situation becomes worse. That service may decrease. So they have campaigned looking originally for letters of support, seeking provincial and federal funding. Nothing's come through. So now they've reached out to a list of municipalities that they serve and are seeking some financial support from the municipalities. So in the request to us, they have sought grant funding for $243,800. And for your consideration, obviously, as desperately important as public transportation is to our municipality, it is a private for-profit operation. So council, the recommendation from administration to council is to either defeat the motion put forward, or alternatively, council could choose to just accept the report for information. And with that, I will leave it to you. Thank you.
Any questions on that?
If we make the motion and defeat it, does that provide kind of a real sense of finality to it as opposed to just accepting for information to sort of leave the door open when it would? Speaking personally, it would be my preference that the door just be closed on this amount here.
Yes, I believe so, because of the request for funding that you're defeating, it wouldn't be able to be brought forward for whatever our procedure bylaw says, 6 months or
12 months.
12 months.
I'll speak to it. I would have been more comfortable considering it had there been financial information along with it. I mean, our municipality is looking at being asked for 6 or whatever percent of a business's operational costs for a period of time, whatever, and potentially ongoing. But there's been none of that. And so that's where I have difficulty. I'm in agreement with saying no at this point. I mean, if the person really thinks they want to come back and be really transparent about what's going on, then maybe we would look at it again in a year. But also, is transportation our responsibility, our legislative responsibility? I mean, to a certain extent, it really isn't. When Greyhound closed, it wasn't up to the municipalities to replace it. When an airline, when when Air Canada left Peace River, we didn't have to go out and buy a 737. Now, you can make the argument that it could be a good, bad thing or indifferent, but it doesn't jump up to my level of where it's our responsibility. So I'd rather see it denied at this point and put a door on it at least for a year.
Any other comments or questions?
My concern with that is that a year from now, we may not be operating. To close it. You know, I agree with you that it's not a municipal, should not be a municipal cost, but by closing it, are we stopping any lobbying or any sort of, support other than financial?
No, because we could say no to this and we could pass the second motion, which is to lobby the provincial government and to lobby them to step up to the plate if this is something. So I don't think it does stop that. And yeah, I just don't think we can be the guarantor of any private business's success or failure. So I'll leave it at that.
Councillor Boychuk, do you have any comments?
No, I agree with the general consensus here about where we're leading with this as far as, you know, private businesses, and it is a necessary service, but I'm much more willing to advocate hard on behalf of the community to the governments involved that would help us here than support it financially from our taxpayers.
Okay, is there a motion? You want to bring a motion forward on that?
I'll make the motion with caveat that I'm not in favor of it before I read it, just in case someone chops this out of the YouTube video. I'll move that council grant $243,800 to Cold Shot as requested to be funded from general operating reserves.
All in favor of that motion? Councillor Boychuk will wait for yours.
Now, this is one of those tricky wording ones, so I'm not in favor of giving them any money, so I'm not in favor of this motion. Is that correct?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So all in favor? All opposed? And that is defeated.
Okay, that being said, I will move that council direct administration to draft a letter to Honorable Dan Williams, MLA, Peace River, Mr. Arlen Pearson, MP, Peace River, West Loch, bringing our concerns regarding regional connectivity to their attention.
All in,
Could we also add CC all of our surrounding municipalities as well?
I will accept that as a friendly amendment.
all in favor of that motion? Wait for Mr. Boychuk.
It's so slow. I'm in favor. Thank you.
Thank you. That's carried. So number 9, we got reports next from 1 through 4. Council event attendance reports. Any questions or anything on that? We have the Peace River Aboriginal Interagency Committee meeting minutes. Mayor Manzer's away. We have the Economic Development Committee meeting minutes. I don't have much to report on that. That was our first meeting of the year. And we just kind of summarized what our work plan going forward, things like that. And then we have the Northern Sunrise County and Town of Peace River Intermunicipal Collaboration Committee annual report to councils. Any questions or comments on those?
So yeah, that last one is just in accordance to the agreement. We've put kind of that update out every year. So that's us fulfilling the terms of the agreement.
I'll move that council accepts reports 9 to 9.1 to 9.4 for information.
All in favor of that motion?
In favor.
Thank you, that's carried. And the last one is information council communication package for July 5th and 12th. Are there any questions or comments from that? Would someone like to make a motion to accept that information? quiet bunch here tonight.
Brad's turn.
Come on, Brad, get on the scorecard today.
No. No, I'll pass.
I'll do it. I'll move the council accept item 10.1 for information.
All in favor of that motion?
In favor.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. That's carried. No notices of motion. 12, comment from the public. 13, key communication items.
The donation of the firefighting equipment.
Any others?
I'm assuming we've been in there's only so many mobile home parks in town, so probably reaching out to those, managers, owners is, not very onerous. The updates there. That's all I can think of.
Okay, no closed session. And then adjournment.
Okay, go.
Okay. Councilor Carr adjourns us at 5:30. Thank you. All in favor of that motion? That's carried. Thank you.
I'm opposed on that one.
Okay, so,
Have a wonderful evening, Mark.
You too, and congratulations, Barb, for your years of service. That's phenomenal.
thanks, Mark. All right, we're still live, I should have said.